Hey folks, welcome in. It's day 354 of Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes day by day. 454. 454. 354. Yeah, right, I wish. That was a while ago. Anyway, welcome to it. Thank you for being here, as always. I don't know. It was pretty quiet here today. I mentioned yesterday the kids went to their grandparents. Maybe, didn't I do that? They did. Even if I didn't mention it, they did. Sort of for the quiet day. Got back into the swing of things gig wise. So that's, fun as it ever is. Sorry. So I think yesterday I mentioned this revivalist that had came about 10 months ago. And everybody that was there, I think, pretty much got hit between the eyes. I feel like he just told hard truths to people. Hold on. I got this. Got my blood drawn today, so got this. The tape thing on my hand, oh, sorry. Just don't know why I chose not to do this, but I did it. Anyway, yeah, about 10 months ago, the revivalist came and he kind of hit everybody that was there. He gave them a lot to think about. And I mentioned that the song, I think, where Doimbo says, goodbye to my old friends. So long to my old friends, burdens and bitterness. Nah, you ain't welcome here. And at the time, I was carrying around a lot of. I mean, I don't think if you're alive, you probably carry around a fair amount of burden and bitterness for, just being alive. Maybe not necessarily, probably towards life in general. And I heard somebody say once that unforgiveness is like not forgiving someone is like, what's the quote? Let me go. Hold on, real quick. I can't find it, but it's something like, unforgiveness is like wanting somebody dead and then you drinking the poison. It's something like that. I carry, prior to this and even since a little bit, but to a much less degree, I was carrying around a great deal of unforgiveness for people. What do I mean, people? And this is something that I've wrestled with quite a bit this year, is like friends of mine who I know what they're looking for, or at least I have some idea of what they're looking for, and I know where to go find it. But instead of actually looking for the truth, they look for a version of the truth. And this is what is I see as a large problem with our culture. It's like the guy who asked me for life advice. I gave it to him, but it's like I said last night, if you don't accept it, then whose fault is that? It's like if you're looking for, it's like if I went and I asked you for, okay, what mods do I put on there? And I put that out there as a question. And whoever it was, whichever one of you just happened to go Swgoh.gg and you'd be like, oh, he needs whatever. And so I was like, okay, but I'm just going to put defense on him instead. Which I would probably never put defense on him but it would be something like that. Like you ask me for advice, and even though you know that this is not a tank, and this is, defense is very specific in this game, but yet, because I wanted defense, because I wanted to put defense on him, because, I just didn't have the offense or crit chance or quick potency or offense mods. I just wanted to put defense on there. That would be, and the idea behind this was doing this long term. That would be like, and the illustration I'm trying to draw is, people are looking for answers, and they either find the answer and it's not the answer that they want, so they just do whatever and they don't accept it. And so they make their lives harder than it needs to be. And for a long time, I was beating myself up over this of why won't these people just accept the truth? Because there are certain things, there's a lot of things that there's only black and white. We live in this era of tremendous grayness where there's 14 different shades of gray, or 50 shades, I guess. And we want advice, but when we get it, or when we get the truth, it's like, well, that doesn't really fit what I'm going for, so I'm going to reject it whole cloth. And that could be, if you're just playing a game like Star Wars, or you're just asking for general knowledge, that's one thing. But it's when you're looking for one specific thing, and the answer to me would be as plain as day. And I would sort of, tell them that, hey, this is the answer, or this is where you can find the answer. But instead of actually accepting and actually listening to me or actually looking and finding the answer on their own, they want to go over there instead of right here what this answer is. And so I had a lot of frustration, a lot of unforgiveness, a lot of bitterness built up because of that. And that's one thing I ended up parting with over the course of the past 10 months. I got the and I don't know if you've noticed this, but I definitely feel it. I don't, because it's just like it's something you have to work through. And and it doesn't mean that it goes away, but you have to keep trying to get better at it. Like today, I mentioned that I had blood work done. Because I went to the doctor today. And did I tell you that I think back before we went on vacation, I found out that I have hip degeneration. It's at the very bottom of my hip. And a lot of it is just due to carrying around way too much weight for a while. And so the doctor today, I went there and he gave me a diet recommendation. Well, not really a diet recommendation, but a lifestyle change. And this is just for like the first month. And he broke down, what I should basically be eating per day, in terms of protein, carbs, fat, that type of stuff. It's a version of keto for those of you who know what that is, but it's not whatever 20-30 grams of carbs a day. This is actually something that where I can actually still have pasta, I can actually still have bread. But if I choose not to do it, then it's not going to do me any good. Like if I just go out and I buy a box of chocolate and I eat the whole thing, well, that's not conducive. And he's like, you can have a donut, but just don't have like 5. And before this, and sugar is how I cope with things that I can't control, like you have a bad day, and or you get some bad news, or you get some news that just kind of bothers you. You just more often than not, I will stop and I will eat a brownie or a plate of cookie or a brownie, but more like 4 brownies. And instead of a cookie, it's like 5 cookies. And this type of thing, because it's my coping thing, because for better or worse, I'm addicted to sugar. Sugar's, people do these things, they have these vices, and my vice is sugar. It's not alcohol, it's not whatever, it's sugar. And so, if I choose not to do what the doctor says, that's on me, because I'm the only one who control it. And these people that I mentioned, they were intentionally, they were, uh, just couldn't control what they were doing. And that was causing a lot of bitterness and strife in my life. And when we listened to this evangelist, he made it clear that there was no use to doing that, because it was just eating away at my soul, and it was causing me to not be right with it. And I just couldn't stand that anymore. And so since I've given that up and supposed to put that away, everything has kind of felt a lot better. And I mentioned, I don't know that if I mentioned, but I knew, like, earlier in this year, I was going to have to lose some amount of weight, and I was doing these half measures of, eating, still drinking soda, still eating stuff that I shouldn't, but still not eating it very seldomly. It was like, and it was just a personal problem, but it was just hitting me because I was intentionally doing something that I shouldn't be doing for my own good. And now, given this realization, this is kind of going to redouble my efforts. And, I have a follow-up with him in a month, and we'll see. And, walking more. I downloaded this walking app while I was on vacation, and I've been walking a lot more than I was previously. And we're turning in the right direction. But it's all because I'm taking the truth. I'm taking the advice that was given to me. Oh, this is what? Okay, well, all right. BRB. But yeah. So I have this lifestyle change that I have to do to make sure that my hips work. And that I can reduce the pain that I'm having from my hips. And basically, if I don't do it, then it's nobody's fault but mine. And but anyway, this revivalist is coming back in less than a month. He'll be back, and really looking forward to seeing him. Really looking forward to seeing how this stuff is going to hit me differently this year. And just really optimistic all the way around about this whole endeavor. Because there's nothing to be afraid of. Ultimately. But as always, everything I said could not make sense. It tends to be the way I talk. I tend to go down rabbit trails and chase things that make sense to me, and a lot of times it won't make sense to anybody but me. But But anyway, I don't know. We keep walking Insidious. We keep walking on a lot of these characters. But that's all I get for today. By the way, before I go, I don't know if any of you know who that Critical Drinker is. He did a video where he basically said Marvel. That Kevin Feige basically said, well, we tried stuff in Phase 4 and it didn't work. So all the people that were responsible for what happened in Phase 4 are being let go. And they're going in a different direction. And the direction is getting rid of what he calls the message. And if you don't know what that message is, you can just go over to his channel and check out any number of his videos on like anything. And if it's negative, he's gonna introduce you to the message. And but he said this is not happening with Star Wars yet. Star Wars is still determined to embrace the message, and that's sad. That's really unfortunate. Oh, we can put this on Viceroy. All right, good. Okay, that's good. But yeah, look. So that's positive. But anyway, as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, let me know. I always ramble, and I apologize. God bless. Hold the line. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye.